Hello and welcome to Thursday's Take 5. We're moving on into Nehemiah chapter 12. There are only 13 chapters in the whole book, so tomorrow sees us finishing off the book of Nehemiah. And I hope you've been following hard as you've read the Take 5s and read through this great story that Nehemiah records for us about the building of Jerusalem's walls on the return to Jerusalem from slavery in Babylon. And as I read this chapter, two things struck me really. The first was that it is a celebration of the completion and the dedication of this wall. It's now finished. We heard that a little bit earlier in the book of Nehemiah. And this is the ceremony, the great occasion when the wall is to be dedicated. And the second thing that struck me as I was reading this was how much praise and thanksgiving is going on during this chapter. There are lots of descriptions of it. We are told lots about the musicians, what they're playing, and the instruments they're using, and the style of singing as well. The way that different choirs were required to sing according to the way David had prescribed it. And we're told many times during the chapter that there was thanksgiving and praise, and some of that praise is clearly really quite exuberant. At one place it says they could be heard far off. So this isn't any muted choral singing. This is quite a loud and wild celebration that is going on. Must have been quite a sight to behold. So what does this mean for us? Because this is happening many, many years ago in a different culture, in a different time, when God worship was Jerusalem centered. But we live in a New Testament time with a church, with the knowledge of Jesus Christ, with his presence in our lives. Well, walls in the Old Testament particularly speak to a number of things. They speak about strength. They speak about the strength of the city, and also about the strength of the God, who is the God of that people. And so it speaks to our strength and the strength of our God, the strength of our Lord Jesus Christ, and the strength of our faith as well. Walls also speak about protection. They would protect the city from the marauding enemies that were around. Indeed, in the book of Nehemiah, we still read about the enemies, Sanballat and Tobiah, who were out to get the Israelites and were totally against them. But the walls were a symbol, and more than a symbol, they were an actual physical entity of protection. And so this wall is finished, and the Israelites are really happy that they are now well protected. And it also speaks about the city being firmly established. This city is now able to say that we are rooted, and they can go on with building their own houses. They can go on with construction inside, knowing that they are safe and established. And I think those 3 points are a really good challenge for us today, aren't they? How established am I in my faith? How established are you in your faith? How strong do you feel in your faith? How protected do you feel in your faith? In the New Testament, in the book of Acts, we find out that there were 4 things that the early Christians really devoted themselves to. They devoted themselves to fellowship, to prayer, to teaching, and to fellowship. And I think those 4 things are key to us being established as Christians. Are we praying? Are we reading the scriptures? Are we joining in with other Christian fellowship? And the one I missed actually, are we regularly taking communion and remembering the importance of the cross in our lives? So let's reflect on that today. How well established am I in my Christian faith? Do I need to seek God more? Do I need to revisit one of those aspects and say, Lord, teach me too? And maybe there's something that you and I need to do today to put that into place. So have a great day thinking on those things, and I'll be with you tomorrow.